Welcome to an example about patient recovery time. Patient recovery time for a particular surgical procedure is normally distributed mean 3 days, standard deviation 1.5 days. So that's the average it takes people to recover from a certain surgical procedure, 3 days. That's the average, but not everybody's the same. Older, younger might take you longer or shorter. The deviation, the typical deviation for that is 1.5 days. Okay, so come on down here. You know what they always want here. This is the key word here is normal distributed. Right? It's spread out like a bell curve. Okay, so in here is the N. They just want you to type in here the mean and the standard deviation. So the mean is right there, 3 days. Standard deviation is 1.5. As you can see, the answer is right there. What is the median? Well, that's the same as the mean. The median is the middle. For a bell curve, the middle of the bell is called median or mean. It's the same. There is no difference between the median and mean on a bell curve. They're the same thing. What's the z-score? Nah, that's a good question. How do we do z-score? Well, we're going to go to the z-score calculator, and we're going to put in the mean and the standard deviation, get the z-score. Let's go do that. So I'll share my screen. Okay. Here, let me go back. Okay, so I'm going to go to the home page, click on the online calculator. We come in here. I'm going to go to z-score, number 4. Click on z-score. X, what is that? That is it says that what is z-score for a patient that took 4.5 days to recover? So that's 4.5. That's how long they took to recover. That is a Greek M called mu, means the mean. 3 days is the average for people to recover. And that is a Greek S, even though it looks like an O. I know it's Greek S for sigma, standard deviation 1.5. And click calculate. The z-score is 0.9333. So we got that. All right, let's go back. Okay, so we get that first answer. That's good. Now, what's the probability of spending more than 4 days? So if you're a person who goes to this surgery, what's the chance you're gonna spend more than 4 days? Well, for these kind, we if you look at the notes, you always got to draw a little bell curve, put it in the middle. What's the mean? The average person spends 3 days. That's the mean to recover. Okay. More than 4 days. So four would be, right here. 4 days. And more is that way. If they said less, it would be to the left, wouldn't it? But more is certainly to the right, isn't it? Tracking with me? They said, what's the chance a person will spend less than 4 days in recovery? It'd be that way. But they said more than 4 days in recovery, it'd be that way. So that's the section we're talking about. In other words, what part of all, here's the distribution of all the people that come for that surgery. The average person, 3 days to recover. Some take longer, some take less. What section of the curve is 4 or more? What section is that? So that means this is the low. This is the high here, which will be positive 6 9s, just to be safe. That's positive infinity, basically, in calculator language, positive 5 9s. So whenever you go right forever, it's positive infinity. So there's what we do. Go to the calculator. Let me do it. So let's get to that calculator. Let me show you the notes too, by the way. Here's the unit 2 notes. Coming on down, normally distributed. First, draw the normal curve, put the mean in the middle, put it on the graph, left or right, value they mentioned. Okay, go to the online normal probability calculator. Are they asking you for a percentage? They are. So it says number 3. Are they asking for a percentage? Yeah, they are. Okay, we're right here. They're asking us the right. They said, what's the probability? What's the percentage of spending more than 4 days? Put in the low and the high. If the graph goes forever left, put in the low as negative, bunch of nines. If the graph goes forever right, no, ours went forever right. High. Now that should actually be 6 9s. Okay, if n is more than one, no, we don't have more than one person. So there we go. So let's go to the calculator. So I'm going to choose the normal probability calculator. Boom. And I'm going to put in the low is 4. The high is 6 9s. You put in 7 if you want. The mean, the average person spends 3 days, standard deviation, how much they deviate from person to person. Typical deviation is 1.5. Hit calculate. So there's the top from 4 onward is 0.2525 to about 25% of the patients spend 4 days or longer in recovery, about 25%. So there's that answer. Okay, let's go back now to the next part. Okay, so now for part E. So there's our last answer. Now part E. What is the chance spending between 2.7 3.7? So do that. Draw another bell curve. Put the middle on there. Average person's 3. Between 2.7 3.7. So that would be like 2.7 be about right here. 3.7 be about right there. So what's the chance that you're going to spend somewhere in that region between a low of 2.7 and a high of 3.7? So that's easy. Just go to the online calculator and pop those in there. Let's go do that. So we got a low of, what was it, 2.7 and a high of 3.7. Means three standards want to get rid of the probability here and hit calculate. And there, that's 2589. That means 25% or about 26%, right? Of the curve is people who spend between 2.7 and 3.7 days in recovery. It's about 25% of the patient, or about 26% of the patients. So we go with that one. And okay, finally, part F. 70th percentile. So again, let's draw ourselves a bell curve. And you put the middle on there, which is 3 days recovery. Now, what do you do for percentile? How do you handle that? Well, what you do is 70th. Now, think about percentile. Remember what percentile is. It's a measuring system from 0 to 100 with 50 in the middle, right? If you're saying I'm the average patient recovery time, I'm at the 50 percentile. That means you're 3 days recovery. They said that's what the average patient, right? If you're longer than 3 days recovery, then you're a longer, higher percentile. I was in the 60 or 70 percentile, took me longer to recover. Or if you're 40 or 30, you're quicker recovery, right? It's just a scale from 0 to 100. So 70 percentile is going to be somewhere to the right of the middle, right of 50, huh? So I don't know where exactly, but let's just say that. And that means all of this is 0.70, you see. I don't know what this is. This is the high, which I'm going to leave blank. This is the low, which must be negative 6 nines because it's negative infinity. See how this goes from negative forever all the way up to there. We want to find that high. So let's go to the calculator. So let me show you that in the notes, by the way. When they give you a, so I'm on the exam 2 notes, unit 2 notes. Going down to number 5, normal distribution. To this part, when they give you a percentage already, they give me 70 percentile, right? Put in the low of negative 999, or it should be 6 nines actually. The high, leave blank, and put in the probability. If n is more than one, we don't have more. This is just one patient. So we're good. Let's go to the calculator. So what was the low? Negative 6 nines. The high, we leave blank. The mean standard, the P, I want that to be the 70% of the people. Calculate. So there it is. So the high pops in 3.7866. That's the right answer. That means 70% of the people are from 3.79 basically or less days to recover. That's 70% of the people recover in 3.79 days or less. That's the 70th percentile, the place where 70% of the people hit, there and below is 70% of the people. That's the 70th percentile. And so there we go.